audio are muted.
Recording in progress.
Great. I want to call all in favor. Aye. Thank you. Okay. The library director's report.
Okay, thank you, David. I will be brief. In your packet, I just turned visit out to Molino and Beaver Creek and talk to them and try to get some support for that project. So that was very exciting. At the last library, it's some good. I think we'll get a good number of companies bidding on that. So that's great. And then I did just want to share, you might have seen this on the catalog site already, but our linked cooperative has been working for about a year on developing a new logo. This was something that a committee of library staff members from every library in the county kind of worked on together, and we just said, go forth and do great things. And personally, I really like it. It's very professionally done. We got a presentation yesterday from one of our committees, and they used it as the template for the PowerPoint deck. It's really good. This will also come with fonts, the style guide and fonts. So throughout 2025, there's just going to be some activities to kind of promote that new logo, and later in the fall, they're talking about doing a program that encourages everybody to visit every library. Something like that. So you'll start to see that logo, and everybody in our cooperative is really thrilled with it. Just want to share that. And with that, other than stats, there's nothing I was going to mention on the stats. So if there's any questions about anything.
I just did like a notice on the new patron registration. If you look at last year's to this year, it's about double. So I was just curious if there,
Yes.
And I kind of assumed that's what it was.
Yeah.
But
The schools are, it's the schools. So there's about 25, 64, I think is the last number I saw off the school one. So yes, that's which is, yes.
That explains
fantastic. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions? No. All right. Let's go to discussion items. Let's do the flooring first.
Okay.
And then we can, because that way we'll lead into.
Okay. So I won't, I gave you a staff report that kind of, where we are in the project. It's been moving quickly. So what might not be, what wasn't in there is, the contract was approved by the city commission on Wednesday night. We have gotten our information out, started to get our information out to the community. So we've got emails going out, it's on social media, it's on our webpage. We have an FAQ section, our city communications putting out a press release. In a perfect world, I wish we had another week or so to do communications, but as we all know, we do not live in a perfect world. Given the capacity that the city had for a project of this type, we went as quickly as we could. So we'll do the very best we can to communicate with our patrons. We are very hopeful. Talking to the vendor that it's going to be done in January, and we think we have a pretty good schedule. If you are interested in. So the wood, and it's probably hard for Odds and Nick for you to see this. It is this one here. So this grade of birch. And that was, we all felt, the vendor and our facilities and staff, we felt that was the best combination of color, style, and grain. There was one here that we kind of looked at, but the grain is very different than what's down there currently. So in order to kind of match as closely as possible what's existing, that's what we went with. We will be doing that not only in the Carnegie, the historic section, but we're going to extend it into the new lobby area, just to have a little more consistent flooring and flooring that will last longer.
Is that
No, I think it's, you can see on the side.
right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
So, I mean, it
Solid
should,
wood, yeah.
yes. So,
It'll take years of sanding.
our goal is, another 100 years would be great, but even a few decades after Denise and I are going. Yes. So we're excited about that. We're doing everything we can. We have a couple periods where we will have to close. During the biggest one, when we're doing the lobby, we are going to have Holds pickup available, and people can drop things off. We've moved programming during the month of January as we were able to over at the Pioneer Center, and live at Carnegie, and the Holds room were closed. We're doing circulation out of the community room and doing what we can to mitigate the temporary unavailability of some services. So like computers is the big one, so we'll have Chromebooks that we can lend out to people, and we will of course be willing to help give people a little more assistance, getting connected using those Chromebooks. And then let's get through it as quickly as we can.
And we have the money for it. It's
Yes.
budgeted and it's coming in.
Yes, yep. So financially, financially we're good. The bids came in. There was, you saw in the staff report, there was a very wide range between the low and the high bidder, and the low bidder was very much in line with what the consultant had predicted, and after applying inflationary factors for a couple of years, it's very close to what we wanted, and we're still working on the final logistics of the sorter. Getting the sorter moved while the flooring company is in there, but that's something that we'll figure out. All happen behind the scenes. We know we will make it work.
Great. Well,
And staff will still be available during that time, via email.
Yep. Staff, we did tell staff, if this is the time that works for you to take some of your approved vacation, this would be a great time, but staff will be in the building every day, even when we're closed, working on projects, answering emails, and moving forwards. Yes, and trying to, keep up with the flow of materials as best we can while we don't have sort of a circulation.
Outreach at schools and father's hearts, like just thinking some populations that would need or appreciate or specific other libraries. Communication with the other libraries.
We let all the libraries know.
There might be some increase in.
Yes. I sent out something to all of our directors, and we had a directors group meeting, and I brought them up to date yesterday. And the libraries, we know that eventually it happens to us all. And so there's never any pushback, and everyone's like, that's what we do. That's why we're here for each other. I know we talked about getting something on Peach Jar. I'll have to double check and see if we got the official. Thank you. That'd be great. And then I don't think we should publish our things. It's great.
Especially with that warming shelter idea with the days when it's closed. If there's any other options in the city buildings, I know the project itself would be open, but the library's location.
Yes.
Have some kind of contingency plan. Would be the city's responsibility.
Yes. But I can certainly talk with Tony and Alex and see what might be doable.
Any other questions?
I was going to mention that there's another means of getting information out to city residents that might be helpful, and that is the neighborhoods have lists of residents that are, that have signed up to be on our list by neighborhood. That might be another way to get information out. I know there's probably a pretty good way to do it. So I'll let you know, Greg.
Okay.
That's Hannah.
I can contact Hannah.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Hannah. We did do a presentation to the CIC. And so all of the neighborhood association chairs and members heard the presentation and knew, that's a great idea, Nick. I'll touch base with Hannah.
Hannah actually has the list. So
Yeah.
We probably ought to have something posted at the Friends store as well.
When did the notifications to the public start going out, or when will it?
Today.
Email today.
Okay.
There's
There's an email to us today.
Yes. So there's an email, which we, on our newsletter, it's about 5,000 people at this point, 5,000, 4,000 something. We put it on social media. Like I said, the city is doing a press release. We went back and forth on the timing. We felt weird about getting information out there before the commission had actually approved the contract. So that was a big factor in it, is, we didn't want to get over our skis and make them feel like we were trying to paint them in a corner.
Yeah.
So, we will. And any other thoughts, please feel free to email them to me about other places we can get information out. I mean, hopefully, again, the biggest impact is going to be January 2nd through January 7th. That's the main time. After that, the lobby will be open, kids will be open, adults will be open. It'll be fairly, business as usual, other than the computers. That's kind of the big one.
Kids will still be off of school.
So,
Okay, great. So the library board interview questions, are these the same as we've had in the past?
those are the ones that we used last year.
Have you seen these before?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't know. Yeah.
And for those who may not remember, we always, these are always publicly available in the packet because I bring them to you. They're your questions, right? You are conducting this interview to find who you want to be on your colleague on the board. So these are the ones we've used in the past. If there's any changes we want to make.
It's just 3 and 4. Like, what's the role of the library within the community, and what's the role of the library board? I see the difference with the wording, but there does seem to be some overlap. Or how do you best see yourself fulfilling the role? If I had anything to switch, I would put those together somehow. But that's just an initial thought about them, because it seems like we get the same answers every time for them, but the library doesn't, what the board does. Maybe that's a lack of understanding, but.
I agree.
Sarah, quick.
The one that always bothered me was 9. If you can't commit to come to the meetings, that's a deal breaker.
Yes.
So I'd either bring that early. You can bring that one early or combine it with 8.
I agree with that,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Well, and really, you shouldn't be asking yes or no questions unless it's to clarify, like,
exactly.
skill set or something like that, I see that you, know Word, the updated Word, that's a yes, no question, but we really want to avoid yes, no questions.
And I had
Most people are gonna say yes,
Yeah.
so.
And I had vaguely remembered that we had talked about taking those off, but I went and I watched the recordings from last year just to verify. And we asked 8 and 9 everybody. So, okay, well, so yeah, those can certainly not even be formal questions. That can just be, okay, this board meets at this time. So the expectation is that's good.
But maybe by the next time we do an interview round, we can update this.
Yeah, let's do
If
that.
not for tonight,
Okay.
Yeah,
but
it's minor.
it opens it opens for discussion.
What's not like pre-screening type questions? I don't know if that's, it seems like that would be just something that when the application comes in, and I don't know if it's on the website that talks about the library board or not, but it seems like if they can't do that, then it's not really.
It should be an application filter question.
It can be. I'll talk to Jacob, our city reporter, about it. I guess the only thing would be like meeting times sometimes change.
Well, that's a.
But we could say the library board currently meets, on this schedule.
And it sometimes change, so do you have some flexibility, to make this the commitment to attend or uploading?
Okay, well, let's leave it the way it is and
Okay.
this time, and we'll make a few corrections for the next round.
And then the one thing that we also did last year, and Oz requested this, I think Nick, you requested this last year as well, was that the questions are just read by the people who are in the room and the online folks just listen, because sometimes there's a little bit of
Correction.
yeah.
Absolutely. I was. Yeah.
I
Perfect.
think there'd be much pushback on that.
No, that's perfect.
All right,
Okay. And then I will let everybody know, just remind folks that we will not record the we will not broadcast the interviews. The mayor has said she's going to attend tonight. So in the past, we record them so that the mayor can watch them on her own. She has said she is going to be zooming in to participate, which is a first. So I will probably still record the session. We won't broadcast it. And she may very well have other questions that she wants to ask. So we'll see.
Well, I vote to allow the mayor.
I'm going to let you tell her.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, great. So we'll assign them to the people in the room
Yeah.
at the next break.
Yeah.
All right, communications. Let's start with the foundation. Anything?
Let's see. Well, we're moving ahead on our April foundation event, and we're pretty excited about that. It's going to be at the Ainsworth House on April 3rd, April 3rd. And we're setting a time around like 4:35-ish, or so. And there will be no outside speaker this year. Greg's going to speak on behalf of the library and talk about the future plans, about the outreach vehicles, the book bikes, and other kinds of efforts, to expand the reach and services of the library. And I think that's interesting. The theme for the event is not tentatively, but sort of still a little bit of work in progress, beyond the walls, with the emphasis of, getting beyond the brick and mortar here and see how we can better serve the members of our constituency. So we're working on that. There will be some kind of a raffle. There will be food and adult beverages, music, similar to last year, only no outside speaker. We're looking at some activities to keep people busy during that time. We don't want them wandering off. So stay tuned for the updates on that. And then just kind of update the foundation board agreed to back away from the Dolly Parton information library because of the ever increasing expenses, and during COVID, it wasn't possible to fundraise, and we just took a look at that and thought we need to be supporting something more in library, and that's the 1,000 books before kindergarten. And just as an update, our numbers are, we agreed to keep the program in place until the children that were enrolled at that point graduated, so to speak, and they graduate, when they're 5. And so we're down to, a couple hundred kids or so, and that is decreasing that cost every month for mailers and books and whatnot. So that effort has been successful, while the library has been building up 1,000 books before kindergarten. And so it was, in retrospect, it was a good decision. We thought it was a good decision at the time, but our judgment has proven to be sound.
It was nice.
And we're just looking forward to supporting the library and its beyond the walls efforts.
Thank you. Okay, the Friends.
Well, the Friends didn't have a business meeting this month because it was the month of their annual luncheon. But in November, they were very generous in agreeing to fund several requests that we made, including up to $50,000 for the new library vehicle and $800 for the cultural passes, and rather clever, maybe Greg might want to mention this, $3,750 for the bike mobile, which I think is pretty nifty. But like I say, I'll defer to Greg for comment on that if he wants to.
Yeah, it's here. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
You have a picture, I don't.
Yes, ice bikes. Yeah. So let me get. There we go. The library,
Mobile is going to be present at the April event.
yes,
So, we don't quite know how that's going to be shown off yet, but I can envision some library staff members riding it around.
yes.
For-
Yes. So the the idea of this is just to have kind of a fun, very portable outreach opportunity. So, parades, farmers markets, and schools, or even just hey, if we decide, hey, during the summer, let's just take it on Main Street and connect people who are shopping with the library. It seems like a really great way. I can tell you we have 2 staff members who are incredibly excited about this and have already plotted out all the routes, where they want to go. We're getting the electric version, so that it'll be a little easier. And I should say, like the Friends, the foundation also pledged to support this. And yes, and the library, the outreach vehicles are.
So presumably we can use those contributions as matching funds for grants, right?
Yes, and the foundation is looking into that. We have some time to figure that out, because similarly with the LSTA grant, if we get it, we can't, we don't want to buy it until we have the grant in place, because then we can't use it for it. So yes, but I think that will be good. And I know, Cynthia, the plan is for the foundation to provide some upfront cash for it and then launch a fundraising campaign. I think, was it 75 or 100,000 was the target?
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, one of those two. But again, more towards the continuing outreach efforts. So, to help pay the outreach vehicle and also to provide us additional funds to keep doing more in things out.
Yeah, great.
Maintain, as long as the maintenance.
Yes, that is I think I am very confident in our ability to maintain, capital repair and replace funding, to make sure that once we get these assets, we are able to replace them and reserve for them. Staffing is always going to be an issue, and that's just
Is there a city motor pool?
Citizens has, Public Works, they do have, I think they do some of the work on it at Public Works.
Safe parking for.
Yes, we will, Public Works is going to provide space in one of their facilities, which are access controlled. So, yes.
Finance on
Yeah.
The Americans all slurp these up.
We'll ask her when she comes on.
That's the neighborhood, that's
Yes,
a big
the-
fundraiser,
yes,
things are
yes.
business. No,
Hey, but the book that could be great for the block, neighborhood sale,
I'd like to see the book like at the Oregon Trail Music
Yeah.
in the summer.
Yes.
The sidewalks are there, and you could easily, take that thing around.
And kudos to Denise was the one who discovered this and said, hey, we should get the lease.
Fabulous. All right.
I've heard one of those get around here, so I like it, right?
All right, Nick, anything from LDAC?
LDAC itself isn't really meeting. We don't really have a scheduled meeting, but Greg, would you mind giving an update in terms of the library district itself?
Sure. So I had mentioned at our last meeting that County Administrator Schmidt was assembling what he called a kitchen cabinet group to just brainstorm on ways to fulfill the county commission's directive to kind of restart the task force process. In effect, is to figure out a way to get some of these questions about the future of the district answered. So that group met. What I'm comfortable saying is it was a very positive meeting. Everybody very solutions oriented. Almost every one of the topics or problems that we had identified 5 years ago at this point came right back on the list of things that need to be addressed and answered. And I personally feel pretty good about where it's going. So I think there's going to be a little more work to kind of figure out what that looks like. But I would anticipate that Gary, Administrator Schmidt, would get some information out. He was sometime in the new year. I would say early in the new year is what I would anticipate that something will happen with this.
Thank you.
As soon as I have more that I can share, I will.
All right, just conscious of time. So Lisa, teens?
Yeah, so the Teen Advisory Committee, they have been focusing on the teen area refresh. Right now, it's the laptop bar. They were looking at data usage of the computer stations, which has actually been quite low. So they are looking to instead replace that with laptops so that they can check out Chromebooks or Windows-based laptops. They haven't made a decision yet, but that is their focus right now in the teen area. They've also restructured their meetings, so they have their agenda for the first hour or so, and then they have work group time on their projects. So they have a manga club that they are working on, as well as the Stacks newsletter. And then they also just created a teen book club. So, yeah.
Great, thank you.
Is there any rules that allow like teens using any of the other computers, like the adult area or the children's area? If somebody wanted to, is there?
Correct me if I'm wrong, it's more, we don't allow adults to use
Yeah.
the teen area. There are we don't have anything on the books that says a teen can't be somewhere else in the building. And, every so often it causes a little friction. But, for the greater good, it's important to give teens their space. And honestly, without the regular public internet computers are there, it does reduce, it will reduce the occurrence of adults saying, well, why can't I go there? The computer open. Yeah, there. So, which is a win-win. Yeah.
Okay, great. Any comment I meant to ask Denise? No. I have just one announcement. I'm about to, and Greg and I have been talking about this for some time, the ebook and audio book pricing issue has really gotten under my skin. And so I've been doing a fair amount of research, and Greg's been sending me articles, and I'm going to write, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to write a position paper that we're going to then take to the state librarian. I think there may be some legal recourse that the new Attorney General, particularly in cahoots with the California Attorney General and maybe a Washington one, can take on the publishing industry, because I don't think it's going to get done any other way based on what I've read so far. But so I'm about to start a crusade. So just be aware. I've warned my wife. Okay. Anything else for the good of the order before we adjourn the regular meeting and then call the special meeting for candidates? Okay, so the meeting is adjourned.
Okay.